Got my lemon puffs with me again.
There you are. Folks, hello. We see you out there. Come on in. Oh, come on, Facebook. Catch up. There we are. Not yet. Facebook is moving slow this morning.
Don't wait for Facebook. Do your thing.
I have to because I got to change the thing from private to public. And if I don't do it now, I'm bound to forget it. Every time. Yep. They just won't change it on their own. There we are. We're public out there. If you're out there in Facebook, the chat's open. Chat's open. Sarah's already in the house, but she's not feeling good. Up all night with the flu on top of bad allergies from crop harvesting. No. Sorry to hear that, Sarah. Fun times. LOL. I got all sorts of severe cold and flu meds and allergy meds. Wee, LOL. Snow time. Showtime.
Sarah.
It's actually snowing here in Montana, I believe. Mainly listening mode. It's a minute after 4 a.m. my time. She's like, where are you guys?
Snowing.
Sarah.
Glenn. Yeah. The season starts early in the mountains.
It's still August.
I know. When the one time we took the daughter out to Yellowstone, it was snowing up in the mountains. So that was the end of July. So 3 of you out there, nice to see you here so far. I'm sure one of those is Sarah. That chat is open over there, so feel free to contribute. We got a great book to look at, and we've picked up a sponsor.
Oh, wow.
For the show. No money.
Oh,
no. But we got a sponsor. Today's sponsor is buttered sausage.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face.
There we are, buttered sausage. That's right.
Buttered sausage it makes it slippy.
We'll have a little bit more on that at the end of the program. That's right. I said moron. Here we are. Here's the opening, folks. Let's run this first.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Here we are. Good morning.
Boom.
It's time for Comics by Night. It's a little after 5 a.m. where I'm at. It's a little after 4 a.m. where Sarah is. It's a little after 10 a.m. where Russ and Glenn are, I believe.
Yep.
So, unless they've had some time paradox thing happen. So,
yeah, we've had plenty of awful things happen.
It's got to play the baby babble at the end. Here we are. We'll have that at the end of the program. Sarah also says, meh, I work. She says, meh, I work at a movie theater, 8 hours around plagued kids. Now they're back in school. Here we are. Yep. Yeah, I'm in Illinois.
Illinois.
Yep. I'm in Michigan, just a little south of Flint, and just 2 miles south of the bad water line that's all been repaired, despite what all of the news people want to tell you. So all those lines have been replaced, and we now get water from Detroit that has a special additive that kind of lays a layer of plaque along the inside of all of the pipes to keep all the lead from seeping out. That's how they fix stuff here, folks. Anyway. And
then you drink the additive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yum.
And fluoride. Probably some fluoride in there as well. And
that's right. Just to keep us docile and happy.
To keep you docile, yeah.
Flint strong. That's our new motto there in Flint. Not my motto, but that's Flint's motto. Flint strong. Anyway. Folks, today we got some great... Go ahead. You were saying something, Russ?
No, I was just
No.
giggling
Right.
to myself.
Yeah. Looking at Deadman by Neal Adams. Some more Deadman coming along. And I'm, like I said, I'm your host. I might have said Randy Zimmerman. You can find my stuff over at aerocomics.store. A lot of great books over there, some of which I had no hand in doing. So just great entertainment. Find books like Calico and Paragon and my favorite Hero Bot Zero. So go over there and take a look. Very soon, if not already, you'll see copies of the Shadow Kingdom available over there, but there's only a few left. So, Luke,
But
I hope
you
got
can
that
get them in varying formats.
You can now, yes, over at any bookstore that carries the Ingram
Critical
system.
Blast. If you're in the States, go to criticalblast.com and you can buy a number of versions there. We get more money from that, okay, than we do from Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Oh,
okay.
Good to
So
know.
if you're in America, go to Critical Blast, okay.
Please.
But if you're anywhere else in the world, Amazon or Barnes and Noble, you can pick up all kinds of copies.
You get a wonderful hardback version of it in color with a beautiful painted cover. You can get a paperback version in color as well.
Get a
Also with
handy
that cover,
$9.99 black and white version.
with
I think they were saying
beautiful
they were
sepia
doing
tone cover on there.
yeah, they were doing like a manga size version or whatever.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So all those books that DC have just brought out, the 12 books they brought out, they're doing them in that size, like a digest size.
The 12 books, 2 of which are actually worth reading.
2 of which are worth reading that most people have already bought anyway.
Oh, sorry, folks. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
It's a valid opinion.
Says the S is silent. OMG, Russ pronounced it right. Haha. Oh, Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Love Deadman.
Illinois.
Yep. All right, folks. Also joining me this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've written many books, 12 books, I think it is now, 11 or 12. Most relevant to this show is my book about my visits to see Jack Kirby a few times back in the late 80s, early 90s. So check that out. You can get that on Amazon or at New Haven Publishing. I also produce Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine about comics, which seems to be slipping further and further behind the schedule. At one time, if you're lucky, I used to publish this. This was a good magazine. This is about British comics.
Great.
And if you go to fundmycomic.com, you'll be able to get a copy of my Hatch annotated book, which features the creative process of my character Hatch, plus lots of published and unpublished artwork. So check it out. But put my name in Google and you'll find me.
Googly.
Yeah.
Boogly with the googly.
Oh, let me just show you this. In this
mycomic.com.
in this particular Crikey, number 8, was the first full color, and it had that Avengers artwork in it.
Oh, look at that.
Sweet.
Oh,
Yes.
sweet.
And during the Crikey years, I became good friends with DC Thompson, who's the British publisher of Beano and things like that. They own that artwork, and it's stuck in a box on the shelf because it's from 1969, I think, so it's 50 years old, and they can't the powers can't agree to put it out because somebody owns the logo, somebody owns the title, and they own the artwork, so it's stuck in a box. But I mean, it's just amazing. Look at it. Look at that artwork.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, just beautiful.
And a particular British style to it as well.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Mm.
Beautiful. So anyway, that's one of the sadnesses of life, as if we haven't got enough.
Yeah, we're going to have to take at least one episode out and look at all of that old Thunderbirds artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the old Gary Anderson stuff. Yeah, love that. Love that material. Also joining us this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself, please.
Good morning. My name is Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK. You can find out all about my stuff, all about my works over at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list so that you can find out what's coming next. You just put my name into Amazon or Barnes & Noble. There'll be titles come back. Specifically, what you want is the Shadow Kingdom. And the art for the Atlantean, which is a continuation of the characters in the Shadow Kingdom, is going to be black and white with a nice wash on it. So that's what you're going to be getting.
So your camera has a little bit of graininess to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a bit more
It's
there.
great stuff, though, folks. It's looking really good. Look at that.
I'm enjoying doing that. Doing some lettering today. Well, there was a nice one. It's a nice picture of Cole there, looking mean, smiling back at the
There you go.
the girl who's in charge. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on there. Black and white. We've focused on black and white because that's what we want to do. We want to sort of relive the savage sort of Conan, just like Titan is at the moment, except we're doing it with Cull. And we're not allowed to put his name on the cover, but it's public domain, which means we can continue from the Shadow Kingdom. If you want to buy a copy of the Shadow Kingdom, go to Critical Blast, go to Barnes & Noble, go to Amazon, or you could just pick up a copy over at Arrow Comics. So the arrowcomics.store, there's a couple left. And if you want to find out more about this and where we're going with this, you can find out more about that at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list. There you go. That's it. That's me. I'm done.
All right. Deadman today, folks. Let me get rid of my name here. Come down just a little tighter on it.
You know, I think that cover's ruined by those word balloons.
It is. Yeah.
I don't like them on the
Yeah. I mean, this is a compilation, isn't it? This is a trade paperback.
Yeah, technically they used to do what they call prestige format books that were.
Oh no, okay, all right.
reprinted.
So it is actually a comic that would have appeared on the
it's saddle stitched. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand why they put lettering on there because it's similar to the others.
Yeah, each issue's got at least 2 issues of the work in there. They did the run of Deadman, and they also did a run of Green Lantern, Green Arrow, like this. All of the Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil material, all that socially conscious stuff back before everybody was putting propaganda in their comics that didn't sell worth a bean. So, Denny O'Neil, there we are. But yeah, the word balloons do get in the way. He's a sparrow. And a coward. And
they didn't need to be that big.
Yeah.
They could have put them on there and they didn't need to be that big.
Yep. True.
Maybe that's the text from the original panel and it's been sized up with the artwork.
That's good. I don't know if these are original covers or not. If they were part of the Strange Adventures book that it was originally printed in.
That cover, apart from the text, kind of looks like it's an amalgam of multiple page images.
Yep.
It looks like a collage.
Yeah. How many times can a guy die?
That's like we said last week, like a Eisner title.
Yeah. Little homage to the spirit. But there's all sorts of original and different sequential art layouts.
That's certainly. I like the credits.
Yeah.
The big panel down the bottom.
Yeah.
A little stretched out there, but yeah,
let's fill up some room.
Yeah. They might have done that. They might have done that to avoid the indicia that would have normally been there for the issue. Yeah. It's filled it out, stretched it out. Carmine Infantino plot, Jack Miller script, and Neal Adams art on this one.
Great faces, Neal Adams, doesn't he? Great angles.
Quick recap of where we were. Big rundown of the character. So they were able to.
Weren't they doing that in the last time?
Yeah, they took 2 pages, I think, last time. But this was printed in Strange Adventures, and it was bi-monthly. They were probably figuring that they were getting a new audience almost with every issue. So they were doing a quick, and nobody has ever seen this character before at this point. So they're making up for it with recaps to remind everybody.
It's a great recap.
Yeah. Black borders, black gutters here.
And every angle he's put in there. It's just brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes it interesting, doesn't it? Every panel.
Every panel.
Well, Deadman's superpower is that he's dead. And he's able to possess bodies. He's out trying to find his killer. So the only way he can communicate with anyone living is to possess somebody and take over their body and talk to whoever. A little thin on the inking here. That might be the printing, though. This is nice. This is some of Neal's earliest work. Definitely some of his most experimental work.
Yeah, you can see sort of elements of Ditko and Kane in it, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
It really is good.
Is that his homage to Green Lantern right there?
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Later on, when he does Continuity Studios and draws a lot of Miss Mystic, that particular angle is very welcome in the most male reading comics community. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah says, nice detail. Russ says, yep, that's me. That's it. I'm done. Russ Leach. Yep. LOL. LOL. So, yep, the issues I found were all floppies. I don't think I've seen it in trade paperback form. Never thought of that before. It's probably been collected at least once since this was done. I believe these were done in 1986, 85, 86. DC wasn't afraid to reprint their stuff back then, and did it quite often, especially their better material. The stuff they thought might have been overlooked the first time through. There we are.
So something confusing me here. You say he's dead, and the only way he can sort of get around is by inhabiting somebody's body.
Yeah.
So why is he looking like Deadman? Why is he not looking like Joe Bloggs, who he's in, whose body he's gone into?
Well, he does. Whenever he possesses anybody, his body glows. I think he's thinking back to the time he was killed here.
Oh, we're still in the flashback.
Yeah. Well, the recap here catches you up on the powers, and now he's back. Like I said, he's looking for his killer, so he's back remembering when he was at the circus.
Right, got him. So he's not dead yet in this bit.
Right.
Right.
He's still dressed up as Deadman though, because that's his circus costume. That
last panel there where it says crack. That thumb's a bit strange, isn't it?
It is. A little lopped over.
He dislocated his thumb.
Should have probably ended about halfway up. Yeah, it's a little extended here at this far out joint. Right there. Should have probably been about halfway up that finger. Maybe he's got a long thumbnail and the colorist just missed it. Yeah. Not afraid to bend the body around, though.
No, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. You were saying earlier, Glenn?
The top left panel where they're flipping through the end, you can see on the other page, and you can see the silhouette on the spotlights. That's clever.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Swak. Gotta love a good swak.
Yeah.
Swak. Crack.
Swak. It's a crack. 2 cracks. One with a C, one with a K. There's a wump. Red, you'll Deadman, you'll kill us both. Wump.
Wump. He hit him with his crotch.
He did. Yep, Sarah says, same goes with soap operas. How many times can a person die? Yep. Stay dead, soap operas. Soap operas are kind of...
No, we have to bring Bobby back.
Yeah, Bobby?
Bobby Ewing.
Oh, yeah. Found him in the shower.
Yep.
Kind of like Quantum Leap, for the sake of the story. He looks like himself, but is inside of someone else, which is the people around him, which is what the people around him sees. Except he gets to figure out who he thinks would be a good person to jump their body, unlike Quantum Leap. Yeah.
That phrase, jump their body, is not necessarily the appropriate phrase.
Yeah, probably.
I want to jump your body. It just doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound good. The difference between soap operas and comics is that when they kill someone off in a comic, they don't stay dead, and they don't stay dead necessarily in a soap opera, although they're more likely to stay dead in a soap opera. And the only time they actually bring them back in a soap opera is because they want ratings to increase.
Yeah, it all depends on how well the actor's liked.
Yeah. Whereas comics, like, they plan on bringing them back. They kill people off in a soap opera and don't intend on bringing them back, which is why Bobby came back and it was just a dream, which is really crap. And they just forgot about it and carried on. Whereas in comics, they plan for them to come back. They kill them off and they just, they'll be back soon.
Yeah, the only permanent death in comics is Uncle Ben, and we're not so sure about that anymore.
Well, Gwen Stacy's dead, isn't she?
She's
Gwenpool now, isn't she?
Yeah, Gwenpool and Spider Gwen. There's
Spider
a couple
Gwen
of clones of her, running around.
So
everyone's Spider-Man now. Everyone is Spider-Man. When everyone's Spider-Man, no one's Spider-Man.
It's very deep.
Yeah.
In what I won't say, but it's deep. Anyway, no, just kidding.
But I think modern comics have completely ruined the canon of all the characters.
Well, they've ruined a lot of the basic foundation of comics is gone.
And I don't actually think you can put the genie back in the bottle now. I don't think you can fix it.
Not with the corporate dudes. No, you'd almost have to start over.
It. Yeah. It's all over. Those characters are now done. Even if in some way they were able, like for instance, this absolute DC, although it's rubbish, if they were to do it like the Ultimates, like they did in the early 2000s, that was a perfect way of rebooting. Okay, they did that really well in the 2000s, the Ultimates. It didn't get as much love as it should have done. But that was the way to do it. But just opening up the multiverse to everything, and everything that used to be a what if or an Elseworlds is now canon. It's just like, it's just a mess. There's nothing to follow anymore. You know?
No, but that's the idea. I think it's intentional, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's just an absolute mess.
They want to discourage their readership and throw continuity to the wind. All they're interested in are the logos on the characters and the icons that they can sell for merchandising.
Exactly. Nobody's interested in comics anymore. But even when it comes down to, I don't know, Star Trek shows and what have you, what it comes down to is writers who are not capable of managing canon respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not good enough, right? This is what it comes down to. They're just not good enough to manage both ends respectfully. And
Most
so they just end up writing what they want to write. And then it isn't canon because it isn't in character, or it doesn't take into account previous events, or they just make stuff up and retrofit things. It's crap.
Yeah. Yep. Most of the time they can't even hold to story structure. or even any of the creative writing courses they should have taken in college. So.
No, Sarah. Sorry, I disagree with you. You're right. It's no way is it a replacement, but that's not what I'm saying. They have too many spider things. The spider everything.
Spider Punk. Yeah.
Spider Punk, Spider Girl, Spider Man, Spider Boy, Spider Gwen, Spider Sarah.
Spider
Sarah.
Spider
It's
Sarah.
just,
Coming
if
soon.
everyone's Spider Man, no one is Spider Man.
Well, I'm Spartacus.
I know. I'm Spartacus.
We're all Spartacus.
I'm Ronnie Pickering. Did you see that one I sent you, Ross?
Which one?
I sent you.
The Roy Pickering.
You know the bit where they all sit there and he says, "We're going to kill you all if you give up Spartacus," and all that, and they'll get up and say, "I'm Spartacus." So Tony Curtis gets up and he goes, "I'm Spartacus," and the other guy goes, "I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Ronnie Pickering."
Oh yeah,
it's really funny.
Sarah says, "Yeah, I got you." No, Spider Sarah. Spider Punk is just one I have a pull of for the sake of it. Yeah. Okay. Not sure why this splash page was shortened. I mean, they must have ran some sort of blurb underneath.
That must be Indicia. That must be like the first page or something.
Well, I thought the Indicia was over here.
Yeah, but that doesn't. They don't necessarily run it on page 1, do they?
Not necessarily, but this is what, page 8. That's they
maybe
might
that
have
wasn't
a blurb for part 2. This is
maybe
part 2,
yeah.
Luckily, the strong man throws a crate in their way in order to break their fall.
Thank God.
Yep.
If you look at those
that'll do it.
If you look at those 2 pages there, that part 2 will fit at the bottom, and then the other one will be in the same depth, just about.
Of course, they might have split this up into 8-page segments for Strange Adventures. Who knows what they did?
Yeah, possible.
They didn't have a lot of faith in the character. They might have just done 8 pages an issue, for all I know. So there's no new header here, so they must have put that in the same book. More great angles here.
Rawr.
A couple of more cracks and a whomp.
I give him a smack in the chops there. Look at that. That great view from behind.
Yeah.
And the perspective on his arm.
Yeah.
It's just crack.
Great movement.
Yeah.
Tell everyone that the eagle is a sparrow and a coward. Tell them. Very early Adams. You can see he's not some of the anatomy's a little wonky here, yeah. And it's almost like this is 2 separate elements that he tied together.
Mm.
Beautifully rendered, though.
It's lovely to see people improve, isn't it?
Yeah.
So talking about before, it's just you know what the finished article is, but it's great to see their journey.
Mm-hmm. That was, growing up, that was part of the fun of independent comics, is to follow a story that you liked and watch the everybody improve as they went along.
Mm.
Now, the more that they did, a lot of them didn't get past issue 1. But there's a nice 2-pager there. A bit of zip-a-tone thrown in for shading. It's kind of an odd pattern zip screen. Nice lighting, though. Right. Say it. Kind of a cool layout.
Neal Adams didn't have a hand in creating Deadman, did he?
No, he ended up walking in after the character was already done. It was Arnold Drake and Carmine Infantino.
Right.
Were the ones that created the character.
I'm trying to work out where his arm's gone on that. Has he only got one arm?
It's gone
top
behind
panel.
his back.
Oh, of course, yeah. Right, got it. Yeah.
That's why he's hurting him to get him to admit he's a sparrow.
Yeah.
And he throws him off. That's why he's rubbing his arm here in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, what? What can I do? I'm a lousy, helpless, pathetic ghost. Like I said last week, WB got really close to doing this as a series, this character. I'd love to see the script for that, just to see how it read.
What stopped them?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how their thinking went back then, because there were a lot of programs that they had run into production and then just stopped just short of going to full series or going into shooting the pilot. So there is an Aquaman pilot, Mercy Reef, I think they called it, here on YouTube, that has I think Justin Hartley as Aquaman, the guy who played Green Arrow in Smallville and went on to do what is it? This is Us, and is currently on Tracker, the CBS series Tracker. He was Arthur Curry in that actually got to a pilot, but they passed on Deadman. There's a bunch of other little DC projects that they passed on during that period, a version of Swamp Thing that they passed on, that they got really close to restarting Lost in Space and Dark Shadows again over there, and for whatever reason
they did a Swamp Thing, didn't they?
The DC did later, yeah.
Yeah.
And a really nice version of it too. Very close.
It was
to Alan
really
Moore.
good. Yeah.
Very
it was really
creepy stuff.
Yeah. It didn't get involved really into like the later stuff, where he was basically a some kind of Gaia or Earth god or whatever, some kind of ethereal character. But they did the first part, the Alec Holland bit. They did that quite well.
Mm-hmm. But they had gone through 2 or 3 seasons on a syndicated show about a decade before that. The guy in a foam rubber suit.
Really? I didn't know that. I saw the films. I saw the 2 crappy films.
Yeah, 2 crappy films and at least 1, maybe 2 seasons of a Swamp Thing syndicated series. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Right.
This guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah, well, it's all the best ones are.
Yeah. Kept Doctor Who alive for many, many, many years. Yeah. And now they just added Swamp Thing to the Justice League, of all things.
What?
They just announced the new team up, the new lineup for Justice League has got. They've added Swamp Thing, Star Sapphire, and Poison Ivy.
Oh, why would you have Poison Ivy in the Justice League?
There are no heroes anymore.
Why would you have
on earth?
Swamp Thing in there?
I was about to say, and even more, Swamp Thing would never be in the Justice League.
Well, he was already part of Justice League Dark anyway.
But he wouldn't.
Justice League Dark.
If you read those stories, if you read those original stories, okay, right the way through, all 13 bloody volumes of them before they ended it originally.
Yeah,
he's an ethereal character.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't be in a team. He wouldn't bother himself with the affairs of man.
I totally agree.
He would look after the planet, and that would be it. He might
Yep.
he might associate himself with certain heroes if it was for the common good, but he wouldn't be in a group. Surely that's a complete misunderstanding of the character.
Well, that's not unusual for
No,
modern comics.
no, good lord! And why is there a villain in Justice League?
Two of them, Star Sapphire's in there too.
It's like, okay,
They added
yeah,
one other character.
the
Go
Joker's
ahead.
in Justice League now. The Joker's in
saying?
Justice League.
The Joker.
No. I'm just that's
No, I
the
don't
next
think he
thing,
is.
isn't it?
He's
No,
good.
I know he's not. What I'm saying
Right.
is that's where else do you go? You put
Well-
any of the villains from Batman into the Justice League, and you might as well be putting Doctor Doom in there.
Yeah.
Well, I told you a long time ago, probably about 1972, 73, I can't remember. I stopped reading Spider-Man because, the main reason was because Peter Parker came home and Dr. Octopus was having dinner with Aunt May, wooing her.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I thought, no.
No, we've just jumped the shark, and we jumped the shark quite some time ago.
Oh, we don't want to get into Spider-Man at this point. We're a family-friendly show.
We've already done Spider-Man.
Yeah. But they've gotten a lot worse. Let's put it that way. That's July. No, I'm trying to look for the announcement of the new lineup. I just about, all you can do anymore is shake your head and just pass. Just go on and remember the great older stuff, and it's really
The
all
way
you
it
can
used
do.
to be.
The way it's meant to be.
Well, nostalgia's not what it used to be.
Nope. Afraid not. There's a Powell. That's the end of the story. The last page of the story is on the inside back cover. As they talk about the deluxe reprint forum. Yeah. There's a great back cover. Here's the cover for the 3rd issue of their collection.
See, what I'm seeing with this series is fantastic artwork.
Yeah.
Not much else.
I agree. It's a great cover. That was a cover for Strange Adventures there. And World's Greatest Aerialist.
I just love the colouring in this.
It's got to go back to the original plates. And luckily, it's still on newsprint.
Yeah.
So you don't get that garish look like we had with all the Tarzan book we looked at on Sunday.
Yeah.
This-
It's just
this was-
so... Sorry, Glenn. Go on.
I'm going to say, this must be an American thing. What the hell is an aerialist?
It's a trapeze artist.
Aerialistism.
It's somebody who puts up sky dishes, mate.
And antennas, yeah.
Contact your local aerialist for your new sky dish. .com.
And the colours are so muted. I mean, there's a little bit more sort of there's a few more highlights going on, but it's still block colours. It's lovely. It's the way comics should be, in my personal opinion.
You should do Shadow Kingdom like that. Oh, you did.
Oh, I did.
What a good move.
Oh.
That was a fluke, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to do it in black and white at first.
It looks really good in gray tones.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, it does.
They added a little bit. George added a little bit to it, a little bit of
highlights here and there.
Highlights here and there with some graduation, but not much.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
Did a great job on it. Commissioner Gordon, we see, has been putting up the sign. A little bit crazier hair. Yeah. Not really. Just some guy who looks like
who looks like him. Yeah. You can tell it's not him. His glasses are round.
Right. Correct.
He's got a pipe though.
Does he?
Must be intelligent.
Yeah. There you go. Another crazy angle here. And Deadman is there. You can tell because he's got the Green Lantern glow.
But I'm sure. You see that guy on the floor that's screaming at him?
Mhm.
That face looks a bit like John Byrne, that sort of face. But I was going to say that I'm sure I've seen Peter Parker in that pose with the Green Lantern coming at him or something.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, it's that similar thing. But that face looks like a John Byrne face, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that, of course, you know. But it looks like great angles, though.
Yeah.
Great angles.
Brave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he'll go for the angle and he'll draw the hell out of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't always nail it, but you know, he does it. He goes for it, and it makes it interesting.
That's what really set this whole series apart. You know, was the chances that Neal was able to take, because the editors were pretty liberal because it was just Deadman and Strange Adventures. You know,
but he did that with X-Men, didn't he? When he went in there first, before this.
I think he did X-Men after this.
Oh, sorry, right. I thought it was before this.
No,
anyway,
it's about a year or two after this. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's when I first saw him in the X-Men because I wasn't reading DC.
He asked for Marvel's lowest selling title, so he'd be left alone, so he could do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So.
And then he jumped ship.
Well, back then anybody was happy to have him. So. He did sell a lot of covers. Here though, this sequence is great. Killed me, you hear? He killed me. Maybe you can forget it, baby, but not me. That should be asking too much of any corpse. Would have been a whole different series if he was dressed as a clown. But anyway. Give him a little horn, a little ball horn to squeeze.
That guy there on the left-hand page, bottom panel, I think that's Neal Adams. He drawn himself there with the green shirt on.
Very possible.
It does look like him, yeah.
Got quite the chin, though.
Yeah. Cartoon in it. It's very nice, though.
You know, nice way with the static way he's laying the panels out here. It's a great way of drawing the mundane and trying to keep it interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
They must have been designed for 8-page segments.
Yeah.
That way they can break them up if they had to. I'm just going to keep scrolling unless we got something to talk about here.
Yeah.
Nice little line. Flying into the city. Gotta hand it to Eagle. He is the greatest. Now that I'm gone.
Look at him sitting on that car.
Yeah.
Blam.
Batam. It's a little fluid here. Great elbow.
Yeah. Look at that. It says, "You're practically dead, pal." And he says, "You're telling me." I like the way that they contain the Batam in the panel.
Mm-hmm. Special guest appearance from the actor who played Commissioner Gordon on the Adam West Batman, right there.
Yeah.
Little Ferris wheel action. The thing that really stands out to me about Adams' work during this period were all of those comic book records that he did, all that advertising material that he did. This just screams that style over and over again. If you got to see any of that, those old comic book records he did back during this time.
Is that a tint he's using as well?
Yeah, it looks like
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
mechanical tint.
I think it's the coloring too, because that's kind of a purple here. See if he actually used a dot screen. Let me look at it closely. Oh yeah, he did. There's a zip screen on there. Those are real big during this time.
there's also some of his trousers on the top panel, isn't there?
Yeah. Nicely drawn though.
Yeah, beautifully drawn. That great shadow on that carousel there, whatever you call it.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
A Ferris wheel. Yeah.
That's it.
Let's call it a big wheel.
It's a big wheel. Well, a big
Big
wheel
wheel.
over here is a little kid's toys.
Yeah. Destroyed London with that one, haven't they, Russ?
The carousel. Yeah.
Big, horrible, big wheel in the middle of bloody London.
They've got these fantastic
Mind you,
buildings. They've got these fantastic buildings like the House of Parliament, and then they stick that next to it. Well,
Doesn't
over the
matter,
red
London.
colours.
I won't tell you what I think of London anyway.
It's a metaphor. Statement about the government.
Everything just goes round and round and round and round and round.
Like a carnival. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-page spread.
There he goes. Now, wise guy.
The editor said to him, "You got to rang Neal up and said, Neal, you've got 2 extra pages. Can you fill it?"
Yeah. Do you have single seat Ferris wheels?
Not really.
No.
Not that I've seen.
It's a bit of a cheat.
Yeah. They might have back then. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
It's a great
Weird, really, because it would have been a lot easier just to have just extended the seat.
Yeah. To take it out. You'd think so. Run that bar here.
There's no need to. You could have just extended the seat because all the heavy lifting for the perspective is done below.
Mhm.
Brilliantly, it must be said.
I don't know if he got full scripts at this point or not, but there seems to be a lot of open space here for dialogue. Somebody wrote.
great thick line on his arm there.
What the chirpy man?
Yeah.
The falcon or whatever it is. Yeah.
Eagle.
The sparrow.
Eagle
Sparrow.
Yeah.
That's great.
The sparrow likes wandering around with shorts on.
Oh, cock sparrow.
Yeah, nice thick black around his nose and chin as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, he's picking that out. And very thick black lines on the Ferris wheel as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
It's funny, you look at those lines, you don't notice them. That's how well done they are.
Yeah.
Ram.
Barrel.
Chonk.
Balk. Bot. He's no longer the sparrow. He's the chicken. The bark. Chonk.
I like the way he's just because we've had a few pages of the glow around the man. They're just adding a hint of Deadman on the
Yeah. I can concentrate long enough. I can go from this body to his, and yeah. There we go.
He's got a bit flippant in his dialogue, hasn't it? Like, just hold that pose, Eagle, baby. What next, Eagle? You know, it's like Spider-Man type of thing, isn't it?
Well, it was late 60s here, so it was early 70s. That was kind of
that's how everyone spoke.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
In America, not here.
Pose, Eagle, baby.
Daddy-o.
Daddy-o, yeah.
Yeah. Daddy-o.
Ridiculous format of speech.
Talk 70s hip. Yeah. Well, it's like nowadays calling things fire, you know. Every time somebody uses that expression, I think of Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, arg.
Oh, Pete, because I borrowed your body, you're going to die. So instead, I'm going to rush down to that guy on the floor and break his arms with the impact of your body.
Yeah. And half the time it takes a heart to make a single beat. Deadman enters Tiny's body and woof.
Woof.
That's Tiny. He's been there from the start, only now he looks more like Sinestro. Yeah. All that blood's rushed straight to his face. Sarah says if they're severely obese, it would be a seat of one person. LMFAO. Yeah. It's again nice little vertical panels there.
The scripting's quite lamentable on this comic, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not good.
Jack Miller guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Neal hasn't started writing it at this point.
Yeah, it must have taken him a morning to do, you know.
Unless
Well,
he's
it took
writing
Neal
under
several weeks to draw it.
Jack Miller's script, yeah. Oof. Yeah, you're telling me that's not all. I know it. Eagle pulled the same kind of caper on the West Coast back on September 10th. But that's the day I was killed. And then it was an eagle who did it. Then who did? Who did?
It shouldn't be called Dead Madness. It should be called It's Not Often You're Right, But You're Wrong Again.
Yeah.
Artwork's very nice, though.
Second choice.
Jerry
Let's face it, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and Gil Kane.
Gary Conway's script. Oh, we're back to the fantasy world here. Beautiful Gil Kane. Look at that. Color's kind of in the way on some of this.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, though. Reminds me a lot of Black Mark. And we looked at, a year and a half ago. It ties back into the story from the last issue. I remember the Skeletor wannabe there. Cool. Neal Adams inking over Gil Kane. Was looking through some old Savage Swords and found one that was like that. Gil Kane pencils, Adams inks. Beautiful.
Did a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that Red Sonja story, isn't there, with Buscema and
Yeah.
Adams over the top.
Neal Adams inked John Buscema.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Conan, a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it might be down as Krusty Bunkers, but it's quite obviously Neal Adams.
Or The Tribe.
Well, the Tribe, sorry, not Krusty
Yeah,
Bunkers.
it's the Continuity
Yeah.
Studios
Yeah.
kind of nom de plume. They
Yeah.
use both of them interchangeably. You'll find it all over the place. But anytime The Tribe or the Krusty Bunkers.
But it's pretty obvious it's him.
Is that Krusty Bunkers, Walt Simonson and Chaikin and all those?
Yeah. Anybody that was at the continuity offices at the time.
They all got $10 for doing a background.
Giordano, I think, was in there too. Chaikin.
Williamson, was he there?
I don't think so. I think Williamson was doing a lot of comic strip work at this point.
Right. So were
A
the
lot
people
of
were the
Secret
people at
Agent X9 and that kind of material.
were the people at Continuity doing advertising work as well?
Oh yeah, every chance that they got.
So they could literally get a page of this passed to them and then something else to do with a Chrysler car or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I bet they had a laugh. I bet they were busy, but I bet they had a laugh.
Yeah, wouldn't you have just loved to have been in that environment? I would have.
So they
Yeah.
had two different sets of rates, one for comic work, one for advertising work.
Yeah, we know which one paid better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there.
That classic Gil Kane up the nose shot there.
Yeah, it looks like Gil Kane, that as well.
It does, yeah. With the white hair.
Yeah.
Sure does. Kane at the end. See, back then, Vigilante and Omega Men for sale.
I'd say one of my favourite inkers is Pablo Marcus.
Say what?
Pablo Marcus.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
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 He didn't do that much on Conan, did he? I mean,
I remember him doing a lot of stuff on Conan. He might have
Yeah.
done a lot of the comic. He did a lot
he
of
did
ink
the
work.
Curse of the Undead Man,
Yeah.
which is particularly one of my favourites.
I remember him doing a lot of ink work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the inker. I remember Pablo Marcos is the inker I remember on Buscema's Conan, along with Alfredo Alcala, with the odd Eddie Chan thrown in there. That's the sort of the series I saw. You know, the group of issues I saw.
Remember
It's
Nestor
quite-
Redondo doing a lot of that stuff too.
It's quite variable as well, though. It's like you can't always spot his style.
Mhm.
It changes.
Meanwhile, back to Deadman. It's hide and seek. No, it's and. Andy. I see it now. Looked like an E there for a sec.
There's that long credit box again.
And Indicia probably went there.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Back to the paste up logo.
Somebody in production probably did it, and look at the lines on the bottom of that where the credit box is. Somebody said you can't just felt it those lines out. You've got to put something up. That was the junior that did that.
That's easy to do in production. Back then, they used to sell clear tape with lines like that on it. You can just lay down 4 or 5 layers of tape. You remember working with that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Especially for borders. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell it wasn't done by hand. It had to have been done mechanically.
Do you remember those tapes, Randy, that were in that like a plastic. You used to get different. It was like you used to lay it down, run it along your ruler, and it was in like a
little plastic
container.
cartridge.
Little
Yeah,
plastic
the whole
container.
roll of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you used to miter the corners and stuff like that. And you used to do it in different point sizes. That was brilliant to work with.
Oh yeah. Yep, and you never knew how much you had.
That's right. Yeah, and on that important job, didn't it always run out halfway?
Yeah, you always ran out and had to fill it in with a rapidograph.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were the days. Yeah, it's going up to the Hall of Records. Going through. Kind of an interesting perspective, trying to get that finger to point out.
I used to love my rotring pens.
Yeah. I found some the other day from years ago that aren't even used. 50 years old and not even used them.
Oh, I had a box of. I bought myself a special box, and it had like all the varying sizes up to like, was it 2.0 or something, or was it 1.0? 1.0, I think.
Probably 2.0. That'd be about right.
Yeah,
for
but it went right the way from 0.3 or something all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it came with a compass that you could plug your pen into, and
that's cool. Yeah.
And then I stopped using them.
Back to he's reading the records here. So it's in black and white.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my 1.2 now, rotoring.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
A marvel of engineering.
Yeah, them little plastic things for the ink. This looks fantastic. This is brilliant. I might have to use this. Then you used to put one on the back end, so you had two on one shaft, and you've got a 0.5 here and a 0.3 on the same opposite end, you know.
Fancy, yeah.
Fancy.
It's got some 50-year-old ink in it that's dry.
Yeah, that's actually turned to concrete now. Yeah.
Now it's all flare pens, Sharpies, and magic markers. So
clean this one out. That's not good, is it? This thing's not been used for 50 years.
I bought myself. I played with some dip pens, and I ended up buying myself quite a techno looking fountain pen. Is it the TWSB or something? And I bought two sizes, fine and thin, or fine and extra fine, and also bought myself some fountain pen ink because obviously you can't use the same ink, so it's lighter and it's a little wetter. And I've been using that for fine detail, and they're really nice. But I've also been using a Pentel brush pen, fine brush pen, and it's just like using a brush. It's fantastic. The only problem is over a period of over the last 2 years or whatever, I've been getting a pen and thinking, right, I can sit and use this because they last a long time, but they get clogged up, and you get up in the morning, you go to use your pen, and it's kind of like dry. So I've been trying to maybe sort of use water or maybe a tiny little bit of lighter fuel, just to get the ink flowing for the day. And then it becomes blobby, and it's like, what's going on? Well, how can I make this work? And then I was watching a video about fountain pens and brush pens and stuff, and I was looking at maybe even diving into getting a sable brush and start dipping again. And then it occurred to me, why don't I just mix the inks up? So now I'm using a combination of fountain pen ink and Indian ink 50-50 in my brush pen, and I'm getting an absolutely beautiful line, and I'm getting up in the morning, going to my board, and the line's just there.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
And it's just, and it's only taken me 5 years to work this bloody thing.
Yeah. No, but every inker does that. I don't know an inker out there, especially back during the 80s and 90s, that didn't have their own secret formula. They take a little bit of Pelican, a little bit of Black Magic, and Mix
See,
it all
I
together.
wasn't aware. I was just not aware of that, because I'm as much as I've done, and I'm quite proud of the stuff that I have done. All right, okay, I know I'm no legend, but I have done some stuff, and it's been,
Mhm.
I've enjoyed it, and I've got some experience, and I've been doing all that, and it's like you're still learning all the time, and it never occurred to me to mix my inks up.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just never occurred to me. No one ever said it to me, and that's part of what we're losing with not having studios,
Too
with
true.
not having that industry where people can learn from the people that had come before. There was no one there to say to me, look over my shoulder and go, well, that's all right, that's not so good. What ink are you using? There was no one there to say that. I had to discover it all for myself, even though there's like it's quite a lot of great videos online and what have you. But I still haven't found a video yet that says, why don't you try mixing the inks?
Yeah.
It's just, wow.
Back in the old days, they used to have people in Artist Alley that would be talking to each other. What are you doing? You used to have an inker that would just annoy everybody because he would always walk around and ask them what color ink they use. They're all like, "What?" It's yeah, what color of ink are you using?
Dark black.
Dark black, sort of black, really dark grey black.
There was like 5 different types of Higgins ink during that time, and 3 different types of Pelican ink and rapidograph ink that they would sell in order to keep your rapidograph from clogging too much. Used to sell rapidograph cleaners that were like little cups that they would vibrate and hum. You could take your rapidograph apart and stick it in the cleaning solution and let it hum for 15 to 20 minutes in order to clean it all out.
I used to clean my pens every night. I used to take the nibs out. And just leave them overnight in some water and fairy liquid, washing up liquid.
They like the barber shop liquid they used to have. It's like a light blue liquid that they used to use and sell. It's quite the industry that's hardly around anymore. I'm sure there's still people out there that use rapidograph cleaners. So
yeah, if you get that costs you. If you just get some washing up liquid, just put a tiny drop in a cup or something. Take your nibs out. They come out of the actual plastic covering. Take it apart basically, and just leave them in there. Clean them off. Run them under the tap. Clean them off the best you can, and then just leave them in there overnight. Right. And then 10 minutes before you start, just clean them out and get them dry and get them back together again. And you're away.
Yeah.
Just take 10 minutes at the end of your day just to clean them.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I say, it is a lost art,
It is.
because people are on computers now. They don't need to do all that kind of stuff.
Junk. Taste fist.
I thought that was a comment on computers. Junk.
Chunk. Yeah. There's a clink, a chunk, and a crack.
It's just understanding.
I just think it's great to learn things like that,
Yeah. I mean, it was a complete epiphany to me. So, I did the whole of the Shadow Kingdom with brush pens and, whatever I was using.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd get frustrated every now and then because my the brushes I was using were drying out. And even though I was cleaning regularly and refilling, it's like, well, what the hell's going on? And it never occurred to me that it was the ink itself.
Yeah.
It just didn't occur to me because I'm not experienced enough in that stuff. So so basically I went off looking for I was looking to use dip pens because I wanted a finer line, ended up finding the fountain pens and finding the ink, and then realizing, hold on a minute, there's 2 different inks here. Why is there 2 different inks? How do they work? How does it flow? And combining the two, epiphany. I've got this beautiful line coming out of my brush now.
Right, isn't it great that you found it yourself and somebody didn't tell you?
There is something amazing about that. Yeah, you really feel like you've learned something. Yeah, you've put something in, into your head.
It's not unusual though, especially the old time inkers like that. They would buy huge bottles of Pelican or Higgins Magic black ink and stretch them out or figure out everybody had a witch's brew of ink. That was her own. I used to use a combination of Rapidograph ink, Pelican ink, and Black Magic Higgins.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And back then, you'd buy Higgins in these beautiful glass bottles that were just real sturdy. I had one thrown at my head one time, so I know that they're real sturdy. That's why I have an ex-wife. But anyway, she broke the window too. I was able to duck, and she grazed past me and broke a window.
I've had a can of beans and an apple.
Here, have a can of beans. Wow.
A lot across a dining table at me. So there you go.
Well, football saved my life. I was watching the World Cup, and it was the end of a romance. And I was watching the World Cup, and I went to go forward to pick up my glass of wine, and this guy scored a goal, so I didn't go. And just as I was, if he hadn't scored the goal, my head would have been in front of, would have been hit by one of those big ashtrays.
Bloody hell! She'd thrown it at you.
Yeah, and I tell you, it smashed on the wall. That's how fucking
Nice.
how hard she threw it. I'd have been dead.
Stuck in the wall like
Wow.
a frisbee.
That happened a little while ago to Trump, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, luckily he moved just right and ping, got an ear
Yeah.
instead of a brain.
So I've always wanted. This is way back in the 90s. I've always wanted to find that footballer who's Swedish. I wanted to find him and thank him because he saved
Shake
my
his
life.
hand. Excuse me,
Scoring
you
a goal.
saved my life.
You saved my life. Yeah.
Thomas Brolin, he's called. If he's listening,
Oh,
thank
right,
you,
okay.
Thomas.
Find him on Twitter and thank him.
Yeah.
That'd make for a good story. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Full page.
Squawk.
Squawk. Squawk. Ox.
Those
Yeah.
This
doves
artwork doesn't
sound
seem as detailed.
peculiarly
though,
like.
does
Sorry,
Say
Claire.
what?
Sorry.
it? This artwork doesn't seem as detailed as it has been previously. This is Neal
There are
Adams
some
again, isn't
thicker
it?
lines, aren't there?
Yeah.
Sorry, Russ, what were you saying then?
So those doves sound peculiarly like crows, but
They're not
Wannabes.
doves. They're seagulls. They're seagulls.
are they seagulls?
wannabes,
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay. They look
They look-
close to pigeons.
Yeah, they
That's
look a
a
bit
seagull,
stiff, don't they?
definitely. Yep. Yeah, we get them around here all the time because we're wedged between the Great Lakes.
Seagulls got bigger beaks than that. They're pigeon heads.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Seagulls are much meaner looking than that. Pigeons
Seen
look
on the
like
dock here.
idiots.
Yeah.
Every pigeon I've seen looks like they're gonna like fall over and hit themselves in the face. Whereas seagulls
You're right.
seagulls usually look like they're watching you. Do you know what I mean?
It was a couple of years ago. There was some pigeons in our back garden, and they were they eat everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Helen put some bread out, and they're just thugs. They just run at the other birds. Anyway, these sparrows landed, and this pigeon went after these sparrows. As if to say you can't have this
Yeah.
bread. And one of them, we're just watching this, and one of them just flew up in the air. This pigeon, this sparrow, and came back and whacked him on the head. This pigeon couldn't believe it. You could see his face, even though they don't sort of move the face. You could see him. He was thinking, "What the hell was that?" But it whacked him on his head with its foot, as it flew past. It was funny.
Our last cat used to drag pigeons in through the cat flap.
Bring you a present.
Literally, yeah, bring us a present. These massive pigeons. He always used to pick the fattest one because they were hardest. They were easy to get. So he'd like we had a 6. He was we put a hole in the gate, but he refused to use it. He'd go over the top of the gate, 6-foot gate. He was 14, died, bless him, and he was still bringing us fucking rabbits, whole rabbits.
Quite a
This
feral
cat-
beast. Then.
Oh, the cat was a lunatic, yeah. But he was when he was indoors, he was like super. He was loving. He was a great cat.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to us, he meows right in your face. Like he loved it. He loved being with us.
Sure.
But then he'd go outside and he'd murder everything he could find.
Well, it's a cat, though. That's a cat.
I'll tell you a funny story
cats
about
are
a
that
cat.
way. Yeah.
Somebody I knew years ago, they had this cat and it was 19 years old, this cat.
Good Lord.
Mhm.
And this girl's granddad squashed it when he backed his car out.
Oh, oh no. Oh, couldn't get out of the way fast
And
enough.
they were laughing. They were laughing, said he committed suicide. He'd had enough.
That's possible. Yeah.
I'm 19. I can't do anything. I can't even lick my own arse anymore. I'm off.
And yeah. We got all sorts of suicide squirrels around here.
Suicide squirrels.
You know, driving along and you see them just dart right out in front of the car. Just
They're
to do it.
stupid, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
You
Yeah.
can tell they didn't want to live.
Uh,
What's really bad is when they roll under the car. That always it makes your day. Yeah.
Sugar's
You
here.
know? Yeah, Chris is here. We must be
Hey,
going.
Sugar.
Sounds like
Yeah,
a
he
good
was
cat
great.
to me. Oh yeah,
It's a great cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great cat.
Fantastic cat.
Oh,
As if
dear.
if they're severely obese, would be a seat of one person. Yeah, he started back to the Ferris.
One person Ferris wheel.
person Ferris wheel.
They're always potentially a one person Ferris wheel. Depends how fat you are.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. We're looking at Deadman by Neal Adams. So, yeah. So you know, since we are past the top of the hour. Didn't even get to mention this episode's sponsor, Buttered Sausage. Buttered Sausage. Buttered sausage is more.
Let's talk about buttered sausage.
No, let's not. Anyway.
Oh, that's Daniel Craig there. Look.
Here, yeah, it does.
God, he does look like Daniel Craig, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Daniel Craig before Daniel Craig, when Daniel Craig was about 5, I think, when this came out.
He's got that same wet look on his face.
He does.
It's like it's been hit with a fish.
Yeah. And the mysterious man with a hook also killed the wife of the fugitive. That's odd. We're at page 12. We're at the end of the issue.
On the back cover. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
printed on the back cover. Yeah.
Wow.
Next issue, Deadman is reborn in the fatal call of vengeance.
They mustn't have had any advertising to run on that issue.
Yeah. Well, the last two haven't had advertisements on the back cover.
Yeah.
So where's my issue 1 here?
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why?
Let's not talk about buttered sausage. I hit that button accidentally. Sorry.
Where is it in my face?
Let me move my cursor away from Gary again.
Did Neal Adams ever draw Spider-Man?
Definitely not on a regular basis. I'm sure he's done it at one point or another.
Well, he did a
Who
filling
drew
somewhere.
the Spider-Man Superman?
That was Jose Garcia Lopez.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I should say that was beautifully done by Jose Garcia
Yeah,
Lopez.
it was lovely artwork. Yeah.
I was really surprised to see them actually doing an archive of those team ups. I didn't think they got that kind of cooperation anymore. But they've
You
got
know
a thick archive.
This cover we're looking at is brilliant. I think I'll tell you why. The way they've allowed, they've dropped the logo.
Mhm.
You know, a quarter of the way down, and the way they've lettered it on its side. If you turn it, obviously, you know the word balloons with the
Yeah.
with the drawing.
The same angle as the ground. Yeah.
That's great. I think that's really, really clever.
Mhm.
But to drop the logo like that is something, isn't it? Because usually I don't think they'd do that.
They didn't do it very often, but at this point, everybody was selling in the comic shops anyway. So, they weren't too worried about the upper third like they used to.
Yeah.
You're starting to see them play around with different cover designs.
The cover design that always used to kill me was when they had that box that used to end up empty or a picture of Spider-Man in it. You know, the
Oh yeah, the little corner box.
No,
they cut
yeah.
at the bottom. It was usually at the bottom.
You mean the one in the bottom? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for the UPC code. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was either blank, and then they started putting Spider-Man's face in it for the Marvel comics.
Yeah, that was for the direct market. You could always
Yeah.
tell a direct market book from a
Right.
regular newsstand edition if they didn't put that code in there. They gave up on that after a couple years. Silly Spider-Man head.
And I could never work out
No.
because this used to wreck some of my designs at the time. But the code box had to be on the front cover of a magazine. Why couldn't it be on the back? What's the difference?
Right. Well,
You know,
a lot of the comic shops, especially, put the comics in bags, and they don't
Right.
want to have to take the comic back out of the bag in order to scan the back cover to put it back in the bag. It'd be all day trying to sell comics.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
great angles this guy does. Fantastic angles.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah, and it's an upshot as well. It's just there's a lot going on. It's really, and he's doing it again with the lettering, working it on the same angle. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's great. It works really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. For the Flint Comics newspaper, I used to print. I did one April issue for April Fools in Twirl-O-Vision, where you had to turn the newspaper around and around. The next page was always the next turn. Yeah, I called it Twirl-O-Vision. I had one guy sent me a real nasty email that said, "Don't ever do that again." Because I was sitting on the John trying to read your newspaper, and I kept having to keep turning the damn thing over and over. People in the next stall were wondering what the hell was going on.
Where was he reading it?
Yeah. Well, you'd read it like this, and then you'd have to turn it sideways to read the next two pages. You turn the page, and have to twirl it. So,
you know that comic I did where it folded out. I showed you a few weeks ago, and I got letters saying, "Don't do that again."
Yeah, it was a rather stern letter. It was pretty funny.
I just say to them, "Don't read books on the John." What's wrong with you?
Yeah, especially in the
public. No, that's what we were made for, though. You know?
I wasn't.
We were Flint's favorite bathroom reader there for quite a few years. Flint Comics and Entertainment. Yeah. One time I went into this not quite posh, but pretty a little more than typical, a little more upscale than typical Italian restaurant. Went into the John, and they had a bulletin board above the urinal, and they had my couple of pages of my paper tacked up there for people to read while they were relieving themselves. Never been more proud. I took a couple pictures. It was pretty cool. Printed it in the paper. Thanked them. Floating head.
Yay!
It works though.
It does.
I love floating heads. I use floating heads all the time.
That's what she said. Anyway.
Is that Aunt May? That
yeah, actually, right there. Yeah.
It's Aunt May when she was 25.
Special guest appearance. Yeah. Chris says, "Oh, I love Deadman. I used to love the issues I had that Mike Barron worked on." Yeah. It's a bit before that, but yep, I know what you mean.
And above Aunt May is John Travolta with his red trousers on.
That face, though, the floating head there on the right, that's something else. Now, look at the shadow on it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Zip screen again. Certain kind of a odd ink pattern to it. Just a grainy pattern to it, just to give it that flavor. Chalk.
Ooh, he hit two of them at once. Are they brothers? Son? They must be related.
Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, Cleve. We got a present for you.
Do you just nothing to do with this? It just came to mind last night. We were watching Hill Street Blues,
Oh, there you go.
and
Yeah.
somebody on YouTube, and somebody's taken. It's brilliant. Somebody's taken the credits out, and they run about 5 episodes through in one. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It's brilliant. You know, the credits.
It's amazing what
beginning.
you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, people with a lot of time on their hands.
I'm going to
Yeah,
say
totally.
somebody's taken the time to get the entire 7-year run and stitch it all together for me.
But not
so
on-
it's brilliant.
Yes, you don't have to wait through the credits. But on
Yeah.
top of that, it's like, why hasn't that been taken off for copyright?
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. And that would also be a little hard to do because each episode of Hill Street was a day for the cops.
So we do a thing where we have a snippet of some television program, and it's fair use because
Yeah.
we're not running the whole program, and we get abused, and then they run a whole.
Well, I guess
7 years or something of a program,
Yeah.
and just.
Well, I guess they're
stays
not running the whole thing because they take the credits off. So maybe
It's
that
just-
maybe that.
Well,
Ah.
also in doing that, they removed the song, and that's really the main what the robots look for.
They look at the
is
sound.
Yeah,
It doesn't play
Yeah.
the tune all the way through at the beginning.
because when we got busted a year and a half ago on Sunday Funnies for playing all those cartoons, it wasn't because we played the cartoon; it's because we played the theme music from Mighty Heroes, and some robot copyright bot caught it and flagged it, and it got removed.
computer says no.
I told you, a friend of mine lives in Ohio. He's a musician, and he's got a couple of albums out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I used, I think I told you this. I used some of his music. He sent me a letter with a sign to his publisher to say that I was allowed to use his music on my little films, but I still got taken down.
Still got
So
so
the publisher was ignoring the artist.
Mhm.
Not,
Yeah,
I don't mean me. I mean him.
fine.
You know.
Not the first time that happened. This little close-up shot here. Sure.
Great thick line down her face.
Yeah, and just black in the hair. Yeah.
She's got what I would describe as a pretty face, not a beautiful face like Buscema draws.
Mhm.
She looks like a girl rather than a woman.
Yeah.
She looks like that woman in that girl in High Chaparral. What's she called? But that the wife,
I don't
Victoria.
remember. It's been
Victoria, you know, the Spanish girl
who
was married to the boss at.
It's been so long since I've seen that show, I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice lady. That's Neal Adams again there on that big panel.
Probably here, yeah.
Yeah.
At least his
Lovely
hair.
perspective. Lovely
Fantastic.
perspective.
It's great angles all the time.
Always, yeah. See,
Great.
it's really made for advertising art here.
Yeah.
The dead man sitting on top of the bus.
Yeah. And that panel there on the right, at the top on the right, in the yellow, the way you can only see one eye looking at the guy.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really
And yet he's still got a full expression there.
Yeah. Looks a bit Gil Caney, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, on the hat. Cool. Silhouette. Just to break it up a little. Show that they're working at night. Whamp. Spock.
Spock.
Popped him in the jaw. Spocked
That,
him.
that oof looks like it was put in later and it slipped.
The oof?
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it slid down a little, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably did that to avoid this. I'd have broken that balloon and just moved it up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may even be that the letterer put that in and the oof wouldn't have been so close to the outside of the bubble. And then somebody in production went, we need to have a double round that.
Yeah.
And then it all got cocked up and they just drew a line round it.
So it would have stuck out, though, if they didn't have that outline on it.
Yeah.
That would have been the first thing that your eye went to on the page, is right to there.
And I'd say that was more of a thwack than a Spock.
Yeah.
But now he would have had all his teeth and blood coming out, wouldn't he?
Here we have a womp or a whamp. Yeah,
Whamp.
that's just the red around the explosion here. Yeah, nowadays the lips would be twice as exaggerated and there'd be little bits of spit coming up.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I can't kill anyone. That he was talking about the fish he caught. What's this fish?
His Cuban heels on his boots. Next to the wamp. Cuban heels on those boots.
Some nice vertical panels again.
Splash.
Nice succession of panels here.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Looks
Really
real well.
well done that.
Yeah. The loss of air here. Nicely done.
Blam. Oof, that hurts with that spade, doesn't it? Or is it a paddle?
Yeah, it's spade, shovel, crang.
Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it? That's going to kill him.
I would imagine.
Oh no, he's gone.
He's going to have a headache in the morning.
If he's lucky.
Yeah. Very fast. Whoops. Oh,
Wonderful. It's called panels.
Yeah.
Especially that middle one with him out of the water. That's just wow.
Here.
Yeah. You could put that on the wall. It's just so visually pleasing.
Krang.
Click of a camera. Like the click of a camera shutter. Deadman's eye registers the scene that saved his life. That saved the life of his brother Cleve. Is that line up? There's a man at the end of it. Hurry. Hurry faster than no man. It looks like a zip pattern back here.
That's not the best drawing he's done for me, that.
No, not at all. The anatomy is way off here. And after seeing him critique somebody, you'd think that he would, be more conscious of that.
Yeah.
Might have been a quickie here. This page.
Bit of an ego going on there.
Yeah. Is that it for the story? That must be it for the story. So we're jumping into another story here.
Got a script. Aragonés and Neal Adams. Wow.
Yeah. Sergio Aragonés and Neal Adams.
Look at that. There's some solid work there.
Sergio did a lot of writing back then, wrote Bat Lash and did a lot of short story work.
Nice legs on that girl there.
I was just going to say, it's a nice maid outfit. Somebody's at the door.
It's Neal Adams.
Somebody. Yeah. Beautiful work. This is all Adams here.
That's James Bond, isn't it? That bottom panel there.
Looks
Down-
like
right
Pierce
down.
Brosnan right there, yeah.
But look at the bottom on the other page.
Oh yeah.
That's a Bond image.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of Jim Aparo in this
Yeah.
on these pages. Just my impression of it. I guess probably because I like Aparo's work so much. Here's a tick, click. Rotary phone, folks. Maybe a bit ahead of your time or before your time. Now look at that laughing page there. Great stuff.
I changed bodies. That's my butler. Oh no.
Oh, we just had a blink here. That's not good. Okay. Terrible mistake. Changed bodies. No, I didn't kill him. Poor devil. Nice laughing pose here, head back, all that works real well. Oh, it's the old man made a deal with the devil, swapped bodies. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now he's going to jail for life. Yep. That's where we should probably call it for this episode.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go to the door to answer the door for the postman.
Oh, okay. I thought
That'll
somebody
do.
wanted-
That'll do. What this old geezer? What a good face that is.
Yeah.
We're just
Wanted to-
saying with the
Go
accords,
ahead.
Russ, on the left-hand page at the bottom, it's a very James Bond image there.
I was just about to say it does look very like James Bond, doesn't it? Like a proper James Bond.
Yeah.
Let's face it, a proper
Yeah.
James Bond.
Yeah.
Which there was only one of.
There was.
My
Lazenby.
son just said Brosnan, but Brosnan
No.
came a good second, I think.
Third.
George Lazenby? No,
George Lazenby.
get stuffed.
They offered him a regular contract after
I
Connery.
know, but he
turned
was a bit of
him
an
down.
idiot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He got drunk on it straight away.
His agent told him to ask for double, so he did, and
They said no.
he didn't
Does
get
he
the
get
gig.
stuffed? I think, in all fairness, he did. Considering he was straight after Sean Connery, he was in the
all
mould
right.
of Sean Connery. He was all right. Yeah, he didn't get enough time to really make
No,
and
but
that one.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the best part of that film is Dinah Rigg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's just
Yeah.
gorgeous, isn't she? So.
she is good.
But I thought he did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did okay. I mean,
I'd rather have
script was
him
there,
than
wasn't it?
Roger Moore.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, Roger
Absolutely,
Moore was
100%. Yeah, I mean, I love Roger Moore as a person, as a character. As
Yeah. And that was
he's
James Bond,
great,
yeah.
absolutely great. But I thought he was a rubbish James Bond.
Well, as a Bond, he played a good saint.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was that
Yeah.
sort of middle of the. It created the tongue in cheek aspect. Although
Yeah.
the Sean Connery stuff had some jokes and stuff,
Yeah,
it was
gritty,
still
wasn't it?
focused on being a spy movie, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Whereas the Roger Moore stuff was a bit comedic, almost. It wasn't even tongue in cheek. It was laugh out loud stuff. So and watching him
become
kick people
all
in a
tropes,
karate gi is hysterical.
all tropes and devices by that point.
Yeah. That car that went underwater.
Yeah.
The Lotus.
Yeah.
You
man
might as
with
well have stuck a
golden gun.
Lotus underwater because they're never out of the garage.
Yeah.
Rubbish cars.
Yeah, I really like the Daniel Craig films, except for the last few minutes of the last one. But it
I
wasn't,
won't watch the last one.
It wasn't James Bond.
No, spoiler alert for everyone. If you don't know already, you
wasn't
should
James-
know. He
James
dies at the end of it. That's not a James Bond film. If he dies at the end of it, it ain't a
doesn't
James
just-
Bond film.
He doesn't just die; he dies standing there watching his
Yeah.
death come in. It's just
Yeah.
embarrassing.
It's just
Like,
stupid.
That's not James. That's
I
not
won't
what
be
James Bond
watching.
would've
I
done.
won't ever be watching that film.
Yeah.
They didn't do a bad job, but it was a bit sort of Jason Bourne, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Bond. That's the thing.
It wasn't
just
Bond. It was a.
They
It
were
was a
nice
good
movies,
version.
but it wasn't Bond.
I see I see all those movies with him in the same way as I see the Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah.
It was a version of Bond. It was a
Mhm.
version of Batman,
they
and there were
ruined it
good
for me.
versions.
They ruined it for me when he finally got Moneypenny.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
She was. There's one of. I don't know which one it is, but they're doing. Bond is with this young black girl who's now Moneypenny, and he doesn't know who she is. And they're out in the field and do this job, but she decides she can't hack it, so she gets a job in the office. And he goes to the office and throws his hat on the stand or whatever he does, and it's her, and she's Moneypenny, and he beds her.
No, that's wrong.
Just ruining 50 years.
That's not the way it works. Yeah.
But then again, they had him fall in love with M, didn't they? With Judi Dench.
No.
She was about. I thought she was in love with him.
No, I think there was mutual respect.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think that's all it was. She played a pretty good M. I mean, that was. But then, in all fairness, they changed her to M in the Brosnan era.
Yeah.
And that worked. But the Brosnan era did work. It was still tongue in cheek. It was, and it modernised it. It was. I thought
it wasn't really Bond, though. Once you get past
Yeah.
Connery and maybe Lazenby, it stopped being.
It stopped being Bond then.
It become a parody of those films after that.
To me, when you get Sean Bean as the villain, you've lost it.
Yeah, because you know he's going to die.
Apparently, he's the second most killed actor.
Yeah. Probably is Pat Roach the top.
I can't remember who was the one. I was disappointed it wasn't Sean.
Yeah.
Dean Morgan, I want to say, the guy who played the comedian in The Watchmen. He's known for every role that he's played except maybe Walking Dead. He's died in.
He was. I loved him in that film. He was so
going
good
to turn Watchmen down, because
was he?
He wasn't, because he was never even alive in it, was he?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, he's all memory. Yeah. Yeah.
And every role, it's Supernatural, Grey's Anatomy, whatever it was, he died.
Yeah. And I've got this great role for you. Okay, go ahead. And the agent says, yeah, like the first 5 minutes, you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a ghost story. No, you're dead. Wonderful. Reverse silhouettes there. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No backgrounds going on here. No.
I noticed that before. Yeah.
Probably done on deadline. Yeah.
Lovely work, though.
Even here.
Life in prison. Life in prison.
Poor fool.
I changed bodies. Ask my butler.
Poor devil. Yeah.
Ask my butler. I've always, whenever I get, get stopped by the police or whatever, I just say, just ask my butler. It's no problem.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
And I think that's it for this episode. Like I said, we'll go into the fatal call of vengeance.
Are we going to do a part 3 then? Are we?
Yeah, I figured we would. We still have 2 more issues to go.
Oh God, yeah. Let's do a part 3.
We might be able to knock this out. And next issue coming up has a guest.
Oh,
Guest star in it. So
Bats is in it.
It'll be great, folks. We've been looking at Deadman. Look at that back cover.
Oh,
That's negative space use there.
Negative Man.
Yeah, he was on Doom Patrol.
Could you imagine him submitting that cover on the other side with that negative space, thinking how great it looked, and Carmine said, Neil, you forgot to fill the details in on the guy in the photograph. Get on with it, man. And he said, no, I've just rubbed all that out when I was working it out.
It's just some editor going, sorry, I'm not only paying you half a page.
Yeah. But on a cover like this, they'd use these blended letters, especially on the cover. Who is the mysterious, negative man? Right across the back there, and spoil it. Yeah. Deadman by Neal Adams, folks. We'll do part 3 next week.
Cool.
It'll be great.
Up for it.
Another 2.5 issues to go. All good.
All good.
Anyway, really glad everybody stopped by today. Decent numbers for early Friday morning. So make sure you hit that like button. Hit that love button if you have one. So
love.
That's what she says. Anyway. We'll see more again next week. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list so that I can keep you informed of everything Atlantean that's coming down the pipe. We're going to have a crowdfund end of September. And it should be in people's hands during November. So there you go. They'll all be ready to go. So sign up for that email list at russleach.com.
Do it today. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me just about everywhere. You can even find me on russleach.com because of my logo. But anyway, if you go to Amazon and put my name in, you'll find 12 books about different subjects. If you go to Fund My Comic, you'll find me on there. But if you just put my name in Google, I'm pretty sure you'll find something.
Cool.
That's about it.
He said typing furiously here. Make sure I spelled it right. There we are. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store. You can find my work over at Amazon. If you look, the Shadow Kingdom's over there. I also have a War of the Worlds novelization, a 5-part collection from Caliber Press called War of the Worlds Infestation, where it's a modern updating of the novel. The Martians try to invade again, only this time they've cured their little atmospheric problem that they had in the original story. So go over there, and I'm very proud of that work as well. Go over there and take a look. There are hardback editions and paperback editions available for the Shadow Kingdom at criticalblast.com, as well as Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and any bookstore. Check your local bookstore. If they're in with the Ingram ordering system, they can get access to our book, and we hope you do. We hope you read it. It's a very faithful adaptation to Howard's original story. I'm very proud of the way it broke down, and just can't be happier with the product in general. And guys over at Critical Blast are doing a great job getting that out in other formats for you to take a look at. So go over there and take a look. We do this twice a week. We do this Friday mornings on Comics by Night, and also Sunday mornings on Sunday Funnies. And this Sunday, we are going to continue our look at Tarzan, the Joe Kubert Tarzan, Tarzan of the Apes story.
We should do that soon.
Yes, we should. I've got 2 volumes of that from Titan. That would be well worth looking
by the great Joe Coloon.
Yeah, we'll put that on the list.
In fact, we should do a few British episodes, I think.
I think so.
Too-
I'd love to show off
too
some
much-
strontium dog, and
Yeah, too much of this Yank stuff, you know.
is that what it is? Right. I've got a collection of Rocco Vargas by Daniel Torres, who's Belgian.
All right.
If you've never seen that, that's got some interesting, stylish space opera work to it. Just some gorgeous, gorgeous material that ran in Heavy Metal and a few other magazines.
And we've got Cam Kennedy, Rogue Trooper as well.
That too. Yep.
Steve Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
All good stuff.
All right. Well, we'll do that. I wouldn't mind showing off my favorite odd English comics, The Bogeyman.
Bogeyman.
Yep. It's about a guy who looks exactly like Humphrey Bogart, who escapes from an insane asylum.
Yes, I vaguely remember that. Yes,
Who's
I vaguely
on
remember
that?
that.
I can't remember the team on it, but it was incredibly sharp and very well
Very
written.
British.
Very British. Yep. Because
It sounds like the kind of thing Steve Holland would do, Russ.
Yeah,
perhaps I can't remember the talent work on it. I think it was in Toxic magazine and was serialized.
Toxic.
Oh
They
yeah,
did a
that
collection.
was,
They did a
what's it
collection
called?
of it. Mills was responsible for that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
They did do a volume collection of it that I just love, because the character thinks he's in the Maltese Falcon or some other Sam Spade adventure while he's dealing with a modern situation, and everybody thinks he's crazy or knows he's crazy. Yeah.
Was Toxic after Crisis? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was because
sure.
Crisis was DC, wasn't it?
No,
No,
Crisis.
different Crisis. English. There's an English.
was,
Crisis. No,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, there was a Crisis. There was the Crisis comic which came after 2000 AD.
Yeah, with the
And
Square,
Deadline. It was post Deadline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
Esquerra was in it, and Pat Mills and all those people.
Yeah, Crisis. Yeah, Crisis was kind of like the political version of Deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they'd taken 2000 AD and split it out into the tongue-in-cheek stuff, which was Deadline, and the political stuff, which was Crisis.
Yes, Tank Girl was in Deadline, wasn't she?
Yeah, Tank Girl was Deadline. Yeah. That's Jamie Hewlett. Yeah.
I used to have all the Warriors too. Used to love those Warriors magazine. Just phenomenal stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Put that on the list. I really want to get around to showing off some undergrounds eventually too. So I was looking at some Wally Wood material that's in that 1984 from Warren Comics, but there's way too many breasts flapping about. So
there you go. Typical. It was created by John Wagner and Alan Grant.
Yeah,
with artist Robin Smith. It's a very John Wagner, Alan Grant thing to have done.
Yeah, very clever. I'm shocked that they never turned it into a movie.
And there was it looks like Cam Kennedy did something on it as well at some point.
Mm-hmm.
All the spots, all those jocks working on it, weren't they?
Oh, the jocks, yeah.
But anyway, folks, we're here twice a week. We're at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, archived over there, the Randy Zim YouTube channel. Go over there and hit the subscribe button and
subscribe.
Hit the like button on the episodes that you enjoy. We're also completely archived over at the Indie Comics Network. And all of that's there available for your enjoyment. And we've looked through all sorts of different material, and we will continue to do it because we love to do it. And there's so much great sequential artwork out there from all over the world that's so worth looking at. You know, don't be discouraged if the modern comics aren't quite fitting your needs, or you're reading some independent book that's not quite there. You've always got this old stuff, and a lot of this stuff is evergreen, holds up just as well as it did when it was first printed. So go back there and read those old books, the books that you remember loving. Go visit your retailer, take a look at his back issue collection. Maybe those old that black and white magazine box that's been sitting close to the floor for the last couple of years. Go through and dig through those and take a look. It's great stuff available there. And we'll be showing a lot more of that stuff off here in the weeks and months to come. So we're real glad that you're here. If you enjoyed this program, tell your friends. We can't have enough people watching us. And we know the majority of you folks watch us after we've already recorded, and we deeply appreciate you there as well. So thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's it. Buy independent alternative comics, especially ours. Swing by fundmycomic.com. Take a look at the great campaigns that are over there. There's some great stuff, and there's a lot more great stuff on the way as well. Fundmycomic.com, folks. You don't have to do the Indiegogo or the as it's been referred to, the pink or the blue site or the Kickstarter or all of that. There's a site out there intentionally meant to run your comic crowdfunding campaign. Fundmycomic.com. Go over there and take a look. You can see Hatch annotated over there as well. It's still available. So go over there and take a look. Take care, everybody. We'll see you Sunday. Joe Kubert's Tarzan. More phenomenal stuff. Just iconic, great. Beyond the Weismuller material. This is an direct adaptation of the novel. So deeply
My
appreciated.
Tarzan's Ron Eli in the 60s. That was fantastic.
Is that the thin, the quite the lithe fella?
Yeah.
The live action. I think that's the one that used to run on the TV when I was a kid. Yeah,
It was great.
My memories of Ron.
I remember. Yeah.
My memories of Ron Eli is an incredibly embarrassing Doc Savage movie that should never see the light of day in anybody's house unless you've got really, really good drugs. Then it's fun. Anyway. What a mess that movie is. But anyway.
And we've never seen him again. He just swung into the trees and was never seen again.
I think Doc Savage destroyed his career. It's very, very much like Jonathan Frakes directing Thunderbirds.
Oh, I've never seen that.
If you get it on TV, you're lucky.
My sister said to me, I was looking forward to it because I'm a big Thunderbirds fan, and I like Jonathan Frakes as well.
Mm-hmm. I do
thought,
too.
wow, this is going to be good. And my sister Joanne said to me, she said, "Have you seen Thunderbirds yet?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Don't see it. It'll ruin everything."
It will.
So I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Nickelodeon at their finest. Yes. Anyway,
I've never watched it either, and I won't. I'm not going to watch it.
Watch Doc Savage instead. But like I said, make sure
drugged up.
Get some good ale. Get some good wine.
I think you should watch it through
drug of choices.
You should watch it through the back glasses, and then everything will be fine.
3D glasses won't hurt it.
Through the back glasses and put on some funky 60s music, Daddy-O, and you will be fine.
Oh, it's already got really bad, very bad patriotic music in it because it's all, gung-ho, red, white, and blue type of pro-US.
I remember that film. I thought it was funny, but there you go.
It's terrible. It's terrible, terrible. Folks, remember
I'm not in love with the IP quite like you are, so I can understand how it would offend you. But I laughed all the way through.
And I first found it from articles in Famous Monsters magazine. Warren talking it up. Couldn't wait to see it. Went to go see it. Went, oh no. And then you see it nowadays, and it's like, well, remember all of those memories that like I had those nostalgic memories you had of Superman 2 and Blade 3 and then like that. And then I go back and you rewatch them and you go, boy, this is really a piece of shit. And it's twice as bad as that. Folks, remember our show. Go ahead, Glenn. What?
No, it's okay. Carry on.
Our show today is sponsored by Buttered Sausage and its health abilities. And to close out our show, we have a little bit from Gary talking about the health advantages of butter sausage. Right here we go.
How many times a week do I eat butter sausage? I can't count that high. They're so good and precious for your digestive system, and that's your natural digestive system. Makes it flow real smooth and leaves the body without effort. Yay, butter sausage!
And he's still got all his hair.
Still got all his hair.
So he's seen the memes and gone, right, I can up that.
Yay, butter sausage. Well done, take care, everybody. See you Sunday. Love you all. Thanks again for stopping by.
We're done, yeah.
Tell your friends.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.